Alright guys, in this video I'm going to go over BC Racing versus Riaction Coilovers. I'm going to do a comparison between the two coilover brands and which ones you should be looking at if you're looking to buy coilovers for your car. So BC Racing and Riaction are both coilovers that start in around the $1,000 price bracket, and so they're basically direct competitors, and they have a lot of similarities, but they also have a lot of unique features between them. And so I'm going to go over each of those in this video and explain which ones I think are better and which you should go for. So first of all, let's go through each of the points one by one, what they have similar, what they have different, and we'll go from there. So firstly, both of these are actually from Taiwan. They're both Taiwanese companies. Their products are made in Taiwan, all the parts, and they are based in Taiwan. So that's the first thing you need to know. Now, the second thing is BC Racing has been around since 1999. So they've been around. They're more established as a brand. Technically, they've been around over 20 years now, and they're pretty well known. They're involved in a lot of motorsports, especially drifting and things like that in the US. And so they are a more established brand with more experiences. And that's one thing that do have going for them, is that there's a lot of people who've used their products. There's a lot of people who say good things about their products. They've proven how long they last, etc., etc. So that's a plus point. On the other hand, Riaction have been around since 2015. So a little bit of a shorter period, obviously. It's about half the time, actually. But actually less than half the time. However, in that time, they've built a pretty decent reputation as well. So while they're not quite as established, they are doing a pretty good job so far, which I've spoken about in my Riaction video. If you haven't seen that one, you can go watch that. I'll put the link above and in the description below so you can see more about Riaction specifically. I'll also put a link to the BC Racing video where I cover BC Racing in detail too in the description below. So if you want to go watch that, you can watch that as well. Now, the next thing is they both have shock body height adjustment. Now, if you don't know what that is, I'll put a link to a video above where I explain the difference between shock body and spring perch height adjustment. But basically, they both offer the same mode of height adjustment, except for the ASP series here, which is a new one that's coming out by BC Racing that has spring perch height adjustment for cars that have leveling systems and things like that. So you don't really need to worry about that for now. Basically, if you're buying a standard coilover kit, they both have the same type of height adjustment. Now, they both offer dampening adjustment on all their kits, and they're both simultaneous compression rebound on both of them as well. Except, obviously, we're not talking about the 2 or 3 ways, but for the 1 ways, they're simultaneous compression rebounds. So just be aware of that as well. They also do offer multi-way adjustments, and we'll go into that in a minute. The BC Racing have more options. So the BC Racing offers 6 different coilover kits, going all the way up to a 3-way independent dampening adjustment. Whereas on Riaction, they've only got 4 options, which are 1-way and 2 ways, digressive and linear. So I spoke about that in the video about the Riactions. They are very similar, except that the Riactions don't have inverted dampers and they don't have 3-way adjustment. Actually, I'm going to put that here as well, inverted damper options, as 2 of the 6 BC Racing kits offer inverted dampers, whereas none of the Riactions do. So if that's something that you do want specifically, then unfortunately Riaction doesn't have that. But they do have linear and digressive 1 and 2 ways, as do BC Racing, except BC Racing don't have a 2-way digressive, so keep that in mind. Now, the next thing is they are both customizable. However, these ones are customizable and upgradable. So that's something that BC Racing doesn't actually offer, is upgrading. So with Riactions, you can actually upgrade your 1-ways to 2-way dampening adjustment, as well as go from linear to digressive. Whereas that's not something you can do with the BC Racing, at least in this point in time. Once you've got the kit, you're basically stuck with the kit that you've got. And so you need to keep that in mind if you think you might need to upgrade later or you like that option. The Riactions offer that option, whereas the BC Racings don't. So keep that one in mind. Now, the next thing is they both have swift spring options. On the Riactions, they are extras. And on the BC Racings, on most of their kits, they are optional. The 2 of their higher end kits, the 2-ways and the 3-ways, they have swift spring standard, but all the other kits are optional extras as well. So that's largely the same thing. Now, the BC Racings are actually rebuildable, and the Riactions are also rebuildable, but they have service in the USA. So Riaction is based in California, and they actually have a facility there where they actually assemble, rebuild, and upgrade their coilovers, and so you can send them there to get them done. And it's actually very, very fast. They typically get them done within 4 to 7 days. So you get the benefit of support in the US, whereas BC Racing, at least at this point, I don't believe do offer a service where they rebuild it. Now, you can buy the parts for this and rebuild them, or find someone to rebuild them, but I'm not aware of any BC Racing specific place that actually does the rebuilds for you. So that's also something you want to keep in mind as well. However, you can get replacement dampers as well, so you can just replace those, and that can be easier in some cases. But those are the options that you need to keep in mind. Now, BC Racing also offers 2-year warranty, and Riaction also offers a 2-year warranty, except for one other thing. Plus, they have a lifetime labor warranty. And what that means is when you need to service your coilovers, they will actually do the labor for free. You just need to pay for the parts. And I think that's a major selling point, and it says a lot about how they're trying to look after their customers, because I have not seen that from any other coilover company where they will actually do the labor for free. So that's something to keep in mind if you want to, have that option later down the road, and you want to know that it's going to cost you less to get them serviced later down the road. Then Riaction offers that, which is a very good plus point in my opinion. Now, BC Racing typically has great reviews. Obviously, they've been around a long time, and a lot of people really like them and speak highly of their kits, and they are a very good entry-level coilover kit, especially the BR series for road use. For most people's use case, that's all they really need. So they do deliver what they're supposed to do. However, the Riactions also have great reviews and customer service. So they have been around a short time. However, everything I could find about Riaction has been overwhelmingly positive. And so they seem to be doing a really good job in terms of delivering a quality product and doing really good customer service as well. So you have to hand it to them. While they haven't been around anywhere near as long, they're definitely doing their best to catch up, and that's something to keep in mind. I think that speaks a lot as well. And the other thing is that these are slightly cheaper. So basically their GT1 coilover is about the equivalent of the BC Racing BR series, but it's slightly cheaper by I think $100 or $200 depending on what car you're getting it for. And they offer the same thing, except you can upgrade them as well and switch to digressive if you want, whereas with the BC Racings you can't. So while they're not quite as established, I actually think that they offer more for the money that you get from them than from BC Racing. And then they offer a 2-way. So if you don't need the 3-ways or inverted dampers that are specific that BC Racing offer that these guys don't, then I think Riaction is actually a very, very good choice. And if you've been considering BC Racing coilovers, I would definitely be looking at Riactions, especially if you're in the US and you get the support. It's going to end up being cheaper for you and easier to get them serviced as well if you pay Riaction to do it for you, and you can upgrade later down the line. So overall, on this list, I actually think Riaction wins if we're talking about the entry-level kit, because I think you actually get more from Riaction than you do from the BC Racing. Even though the BC Racing is still a good proven coilover kit, and if you want a name that you're confident in, that you've heard and you know that people have been using with success, then by all means you can get the BC Racing. There's nothing wrong with them. But I think as a direct comparison, if we're talking about the BR versus the GT, the GT1s, I do think that the Riactions actually win. So that would be my opinion on these two. So that's it for this video. That's my opinion. If you want either one of these two coilovers, you can head over to nefariousracing.com. We sell both BC Racings, the entire range, as well as Riaction, so we can get either of these for your car for you if you want. The only other thing I should actually point out though is that Riaction don't make coilovers for nearly as many cars as BC Racing. So if they unfortunately don't make a kit for you, then you might have to go for the BC Racing. But yeah, BC Racing has like over 800 different car models on the BR series. So that's the only point there. But yeah, if you want any of those two, head over to nefariousracing.com. We've got them all there, so we can supply them for you. Otherwise, if you have any questions about this, throw them in the comments below and I will answer them. Also, if you're not sure which coilovers you need and you want some help selecting the right kit for your car, we have forms on our website where you can go, fill out the form, and we'll actually help you select the right kit for your budget car. So fill that out and we'll help you out. Otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Catch you on the next one.